What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Jae Hard. You're hitting it head on right here on ATL's Next 100, powered by the IBNX Radio Network. I got my childhood friends with me today. I always keep my childhood friends with me because you know what? You keep the people who started with you for a reason if they're faithful and they're truthful to you. So I got my two childhood friends. I got my boy Timmy D and I got my best friend TZB. Tell them how y'all doing. How are y'all doing out there? What's going on, my two friends?
Hey. I'm excited to be here. I'm so happy to see you on here live. I'm happy to be here with y'all.
Yeah, we're grateful. Just enjoy living.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to see y'all. So what we do over here at Head On in the IBNX Radio Network, we start off the show over here at Head On by saying what we are thankful for, okay? So Timmy D and TZB, let the people know what you are thankful for, something that you are thankful and grateful for. We'll start with TZ. Tell us what you're thankful for, my friend.
I'm really thankful for opportunity. The opportunity to be on your show, the opportunity that they gave you for your show, the opportunity to be on here with my friends, and to have my friend be able to promote what he has going on. I'm just grateful for this moment entirely.
That's what's up. I love to hear it. We love to hear it. Timmy D, my boy, let them know who you are, what you do, where you from, and what you're thankful for.
Oh, yeah. My name Timmy D. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, the phone, born and raised. Yeah, I produce music. I produce a lot of R&B. You know, right now I'm real local right now, but you know, one day y'all gonna hear me up there in LA, everywhere you need to hear me. But right now I'm just grateful just for, honestly, life. Honestly, because any day, you know, life could change at any time, and I'm just grateful to wake up to make a difference at any time.
I heard that. That's one of the things that I like to hear from black men. I like to know that we like to inspire one another because, you know, we got the black girls rock movement, and I feel like we need a black men rock movement, man. I need to keep motivating my young men out there. So it's good to say that you wake up in every day trying to be great and do something better. I love to hear that. Okay, man. I will say this. I'm thankful, and I will tell y'all this, what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for taking risks. I am thankful that I was gifted with the talent of not being scared to ask questions. You know, I'm glad I'm not afraid to try new things. I believe a lot of people ruin themselves when he or she is not receptive of taking advice. I have never been a know-it-all. Although I make my own decisions, I still consider what people have to say based on their experiences, okay? So over the weekend, I had the opportunity to be in Houston for an event, for a networking event, a media event, and I was having these constant battles with myself, like, should I say this? Should I say that? But somebody kept telling me, and I believe it was God, he kept saying, if you don't take that risk, then you will never be where you need to be. So me going ahead and not being afraid, taking that risk, not being scared, I'm just thankful for being able to lean on others, being able to take others' advice in, because I feel like a lot of people think they know it all and they think that they don't need help. And I think that's one of the biggest failures in life is when we try to think we know it all and we try to do stuff on our own and we don't seek out help from people who've been through that. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful that my mom, that my grandparents and everybody instilled in me to never be afraid to ask a question, never be afraid to voice your opinion, never be afraid to try new things, okay? How do y'all feel about trying new things? TZ, how do you feel about trying new things? Or do you like to try new things?
Yeah, that's really what life is all about, is trying new things. You really can't say what you like or don't like until you tried it. You know, you grew up with me, so you know my family is a multicultural. I have cousins who are Cambodian. I have a best friend who's Salvadorian. I have Hispanic niece and nephew from one of my brothers on my dad's side. So there's really no way to not try new things.
Right. Tell me something recently. Tell me something recently, Tim, that you tried that was new that you didn't think you was going to ever try in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. It's different, Tim. It could be a different culture in women. It could be a different culture in women. Food, shoes you never thought you would wear.
Ooh, I got a lot of things. If we could talk about women, I guess if we talk about women, if we gonna get real explicit with it, I guess at one point in time, I tried like a white girl and a Mexican girl at the same time, and they was both my first time trying them both of them races.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was pretty wild. I ain't gonna lie. Like
it was wild.
Yeah, it was wild. It's like one of them things. Like it's like they say, you don't know until you try type thing. Like I personally, I love my black women. I love my black women more than anything. But like growing up in a black house, that's all they said. They instilled in your head black women. So I was just like, all right, let me just try to see. All right, if I just brainwash it to thinking, okay, that's it only. But as far as for me, I was just like, nah, that ain't for me. But I wouldn't have known if I didn't try.
So let me ask you this: is there any difference in between a white woman and a Mexican woman? Is there any difference in the way that they perform in bed? What's the difference? Let me know. Put me in.
Okay, I guess the difference for me, for a white woman, it's like they very submissive. It's like very submissive. Like they gonna do whatever they will, whatever. Mexican girl, I guess it's more like with a Mexican girl. It's like they gonna do whatever, but it's gonna be like more sexier than a white girl. Because the white girl it's just like a robot almost. But like,
oh my,
yeah, I know. But like a Mexican girl, it's gonna be more sexual. But that's why I say like with a black woman, it's kind of like it's more like emotions with it.
And I heard them Hispanic women. I heard them Hispanic women living in San Antonio. I heard they got that super soak. I heard they got like the wettest you ever get it. They rank the wettest. I don't know. Is that true, Tim? That's what the men tell me. Do you know how the black women, white women, those Hispanics, they leak a little harder?
I would say the Mexicans and white women get head better, but I don't know if they wetter than a black woman. Like,
okay. You gotta. Now you better watch out. You better say the right thing, boy. Okay, that's good to hear that. Well, I'm glad that we all like to take risks. We all like to try new things. Up next, we got the hit. If you don't know what the hit is the game portion of my show where we play 2 truths and a lie. But today is 2 lies and a truth. Okay, we got 2 lies and a truth. The hit. Alrighty, I will start with my friend, my good girl TZB. Remember, Tia, these are 2 lies and a truth. So you have to come up with 2 lies out of the scenarios that I give you and the truth. Okay. Alrighty. So are you ready, my good friend?
Yes.
All right.
I was born ready.
You born ready? You better come on. All right. So here it is. We got Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys has had a threesome with porn star Tiana Trump. Okay, I'll say that again. Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys has had a threesome with porn star Tiana Trump. Okay. Tamar Braxton tried to commit suicide in July of 2020. And last, Jasmine Sullivan's next album will be called Mental Music. Do you need me to repeat those things? Remember, you have 2 lies and a truth.
Do the first one for me one more time.
Alrighty. So Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys had a threesome with porn star Tiana Trump. Tamar Braxton tried to commit suicide in July of 2020. And the last one is Jasmine Sullivan's next album will be called Mental Music.
The true one that I think is the truth.
If the Swiss Beats were not true,
I didn't think that was true.
Swiss Beats.
He already did a little bit of dabbling.
She not letting that happen.
That sounds like a perfect threesome.
Okay, and then the
I
last.
remember
Go ahead.
Tamar Braxton. They were saying she tried to commit suicide, but I can't remember when it was. So I'm gonna go with that's the truth because I know if you
All
tell
right,
me
then.
that's true.
Ding, 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 ding. You better talk to her. That was the truth. So the two lies was Jasmine Sullivan's next album will be called Mental Music. We don't know what her next album or her next album will be called, but it won't be called Mental Music. That's the title of our segment today.
Unless she heard it, think it's a good idea.
Yeah, that's the title of our segment today. And then the first lie was Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys. Well, the two lies was Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys had a threesome with porn star Tiana Trump. That was a lie as well. Now, my boy Tim said he will hope that would be good for him. That way he don't have to cheat this time, right? Because we know he cheated with Alicia to get with Alicia. Well, we hoping that she's having an open. Now we hope that she's allowing him to have threesomes so he don't have to cheat. But let's talk about Tamar Braxton trying to commit suicide in July of 2020. Okay, let me give y'all more details about it. Okay. So she tried to commit suicide after letting everything she has going through, like everything that she has been through in the industry get to her. Because of her relationship with her family and the reality TV drama, going through a divorce, losing her job from The Real, and a failing engagement, she ultimately decided to try to commit suicide because she thought she was embarrassing her son. She said it felt like she was no longer living and she was just existing for the purpose of a corporation gain and ratings. And that killed her. So, my friends, I ask y'all this. How do y'all feel like how do you deal with a lot of pressure when you're at work or amongst your family and things like that?
Yeah, my main thing is I usually try to take a lot of breathers because when I'll try to act on everything with emotion right then and there. When that pressure start hitting, I try to like take a moment, go outside, and like kind of sit and just think to myself. And then one thing I do a lot is look at a lot of like aspiration quotes, like just some positive aspirations to kind of like get me through stuff. And then I'm big on talking to my family, like me and my family real close, and they give me some pretty straightforward advice on kind of like just positive vibes. And plus my granny, she send me stuff every morning, a positive quote every morning. So that little stuff like that usually help.
Yeah. Do y'all think y'all would ever? Do y'all go ahead, Tia? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was just gonna say, really, with me, I try not to let other people's opinions and other people's what they want me to do to weigh on me. Because at the end of the day, I'm the only person that has to wake up every morning and live my life, and I'm the only person that has to like me. So if I have to choose myself more than I choose anybody else or what they want, then so be it. You got to make yourself happy.
Yeah, you can't do nothing better than yourself.
I heard that. Now she said she tried to commit suicide. Do y'all see yourself? And we don't know, but do you see yourself maybe harming yourself, or maybe cutting yourself, or doing stuff like that because you can't deal with certain stresses, certain depressions, and things like that?
I love myself too much to do something like that to hurt myself because I feel like even if you hurt anybody, you can have that hate for it. But I don't have that hate for myself to even try to harm myself. So it's like with her, it sounds like if she gonna harm herself, that means you got some hate towards yourself. You don't love yourself internally enough to where you just I can get through this and I can get past this. It ain't gonna take me hurting myself and killing myself. Because I was listening to what you were saying with the son. That should be more of an inspiration for her not to kill herself. Because if you saying you killing yourself because your son going through this, just think about what he'll go through if you dead.
Right. That stuff. Yeah, she said that she wanted to end it all because she felt like she was embarrassing her son. She felt like she didn't deserve to be a mother, and he did not deserve didn't deserve her as a mother. Now I would say this, like I will piggyback off what y'all say and say sometimes you cannot let the outside world depict and determine what your life is, because you got people and fans out there who want to make up stuff about you. They're going to say Tamar can't sing, and we clearly know Tamar can sing. They're going to say that Tamar is an unfit mother because she's cursing her sisters out on television and things like that. Like people don't have their own drama and stuff going on in their own lives. Like you never had an argument with your mother, or you never had a failing marriage and things like that. But I think a lot of times people allow the outside world to determine what their life is, instead of, like I tell people all the time, you are the captain of your own boat. So however you want to navigate and however you want to sail on different oceans, that's you. Okay, other people's opinion about you it does not matter. But yeah, dealing with mental depression and stuff like that is really it's kind of scary, and especially if you don't know where to go with it. Like when you walking into your apartment, the first thing you're gonna do is walk into your apartment. You're gonna look or put your keys on the table. But when you don't know anything about mental depression or mental health, it's kind of scary because it's like you don't know which door to open next. Okay, so that one was really, really, really good. So how do y'all feel about Tamar and how she has evolved and things like that, Tia?
Oh, well, honestly, I'm glad that she wants to work through her issues because, I mean, I haven't been through some of the stuff she has been through, but I honestly don't feel like there's anything in this world that can happen to you that you can't get through. I'm glad that her attempt failed and she didn't kill herself because, like Tim said, you got a child to think about. Like, more so to me, outside of getting away from your problems, this would be the only time that I would consider the feelings of other people, because I wouldn't want to leave my mama or my sister or y'all out here wondering what was so wrong that I couldn't come talk to y'all about my issues. Like, I would rather work it out, let y'all know what I'm going through, let you know what I think my options are. And I trust y'all with y'all judgments and y'all opinions. So yeah, of course I would want to talk to somebody. But like I said, I'm glad she's trying to work through it. I'm glad she's looking for help. I'm glad she's coming forward to say, yeah, this is true that this happened, and this is the reason why it happened. Because this might be what she needs in order to stop herself from trying to do it again.
Yes, and I think the most important thing is to learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. If you know a certain thing is what brought you to that road, or that brought you to that depression, let's make sure we try different routes and different avenues to try different things on, not to get us back down that path again. Tim, how do you feel about her evolving and where she is at now, and her trying to get out of that and overcome that whole suicidal incident?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Like, she got a kid at the end of the day. Regardless of what you did the day before, you can always live to make up for that day. It's a lot of people in the world that did some messed up stuff to their kids, but 10 years later down the road, they all made it up, and they probably the best of friends. It's good that she just evolved. She gotta be a strong woman for a kid at the end of the day. That's where it all just boiled down to, because at the end of the day, she ain't living just for her. She living for somebody else. So at the day, like, she got to get herself together for one, which I like that she is. Like, she just get herself together, become the best version of her own self. So when her son seeing that, like, the next woman he try to date in the long run gonna be somebody who's gonna be strong, because he gonna have that image of his mama being strong.
Right. Well, I like to hear it, and we praying for you, Tamar. Just know over here at Head On, we on your side. Make sure you get your mental together, y'all, and make sure you take care of yourself, okay? Because it starts with you. You can't love nobody else if you don't love yourself. Don't y'all go nowhere. Thank y'all for hitting Head On right here on ATL's Next 100. We'll be back.
DJ Eskimo City, the coolest DJ on the motherfucking planet. Eskimo free.
I've been looking at the sun, but can't worry. I'm my mama oldest son, can't get worried. I got stripes in these streets like Barbarian. I remember I ain't make a 3, now I'm Curry. I might pop a fuck nigga, yeah, like a Willie, yeah. I'm used to the murder, I'm from Philly. Money, man, my money, rubber band and shit get silly. I used to drink the color purple, my blood ain't silly. Take it out 200 at a time, stack to the ceiling. I got me a brand new coupe and I took off the ceiling. These boys now I'm on my level, live on top of the building. In the penthouse playing with a heart like whoa, I ain't got no feelings. In the penthouse playing with a heart like whoa, big on back like whoa, get that cash like whoa. Snakes in the grass got more, everything I say gon' go. Platinum rolling no gold, fuckin' real fast and slow. I don't know how life goes. When I got the bands, I can't worry. Yeah, I can end your whole history. Looking in my eyes, you see a demon flames like fury. This Maxed out like everybody in the game, she said that y'all can share me. See, I got the foreign cause my nigga got foreigns and you know they is not holding shit. See me pulling up, that boy got a foreign and you know that he got the ownership. And if I'm in the passenger seat, you know that I got a 30 clip. And look at these niggas, they acting like extra, but they really just on some phony shit. See, I been in the field for a long time. Bad bitches try to fuck on me. I remember when they ain't pay me no mind. I remember when these boys try to take me on my grind. I remember when these boys said that I would be nothing. I remember when I had no money and I needed them to front it. I remember before 100% my boys got to work at the cut. I remember I start running this shit, you know I'm gonna keep running it. Niggas they mad cause I'm so 16 when it comes to it. I been looking at the sun, but can't worry. I'm my mama oldest son, can't get worried. I got stripes in these streets like barbarian. I remember I ain't make a 3, now I'm curvy. I might pop a fuck nigga like a wheelie, yeah. I'm used to the murder, I'm from Philly. Money, man, my money, rubber band and shit get silly. I used to drink the color purple, my blood ain't silly.
I've been looking at the sun, I can't worry. I'm my mama oldest son, can't get buried. I got stripes in these streets like Burberry. I remember ain't make a 3, now I'm curry. I might nail a bad bitch like a hammer, yeah. I'm used to the murders, I'm from Atlanta, yeah. All these bands I'm having, bitch, getting silly, yeah. I just popped your bitch like a wheelie, yeah. Got on baguettes like I've been surfing, yes, I made it out that dirt. Friends will fall, you never know, put your face on the shirt. Knocking this skirt out the park, yeah, shopping as soon as we land. Sipping on mud like a trap star, it's a gift, how count my friends. And the penthouse playing with the hood like, whoa. Nigga bang like, whoa. Have a rack up tight like, whoa. A whole lot of bitches on go, a whole lot of bitches on go. Platinum chain on glove. How many niggas you drop this week? They'll never let that go. Shit getting wet, nigga tryna get bands. Streets getting bloody for these bands. Too corrupted, you can't be caring. Hit them in the public, talk them and ran. Flood in the ice cause the pain you take. Need new safe to have all the cake. Yeah, due to the fact I hustle like it litty. Put the prices on your head like Ray Nitty. Yeah, niggas get killed on camera in my city. When I got them bands, I can't worry. I've been looking at the sun, I can't worry. I'm my mama oldest son, can't get buried. I got stripes in these streets like Burberry. I remember ain't make a 3, now I'm curry. I might nail a bad bitch like a hammer, yeah. I'm used to the murders, I'm from Atlanta, yeah. All these bands I'm having, bitch, getting silly, yeah. I just popped your bitch like a wheelie, as long as I got these bands, ain't no worries. Make a bitch my number 1 fan and rock my jersey. And the way I shoot my shot, oh yeah, I'm so curry. My mama oldest child, can't get buried. And a nigga got more stripes in the streets than Burberry. I ain't never ran from a nigga. No, I ain't never. If I did, cut my legs out right now. I ain't never been with the whole talk, snitch talk, always talking about his fault. Nope. Yeah, I'm a stand-up nigga, got my bands up, nigga. You don't wanna see me pissed off. Real talk. Never tell a lie to a bitch, dog. Nope. When it come to them, you gotta play it raw. And I never ever let the fuckery get to me. Why not? Niggas ain't worth my energy. What you had to do? Cut them off, make them feel it. I ain't dealing with nothing if it don't make sense to me. Never ever ever. I never ever ever go against my kind for some niggas on the other side. Never ever ever. I never ever ever put a bitch for the money, gotta get it when it come to mine. Lately I feel like it's me versus me. Don't see competition, why would you compete? Huh? Don't even gotta be woke, still gon' be up. How? I make a bag in my sleep. Okay. Can't get the hood out of me, you know why I be. Work. Still posted up like I lease. Now. Trust me, them choppers gon' bang, cavity teeth. You better not think this shit sweet. If the bitch bad, put a stack in her rack. Go. I'm Dr. Seuss, give me cat in the hat. Whoa. Booty poke out of her stomach on snatch. Way too pretty to be fucked from the back. Count on some money, then smoke me a plant. This shit got me higher than Ja Morant. Up there. Toxic little bitch and she knowin' she dead. I said I was done, still double back. If you a side bitch, you cannot question me. You did some foul shit, you threw a tech at me. Cook it up right, they done gave me the recipe. I'm in a Z06, police ain't catching me. I'm still ducking this bitch that's obsessed with me. Cause I'm the dope like the coke in the 70s. Big body double R truck, I got bow with me. Hogging the lane and they can't get close to me. to me. Big bag. I ain't never ran from a nigga. No, I ain't never. If I did, cut my legs out right now. I ain't never been with the whole talk, snitch talk, always talking about his fault. Nope. Yeah, I'm a stand-up nigga, got my bands up, nigga. You don't wanna see me pissed off. Real talk. Never tell a lie to a bitch, dog. Nope. When it come to them, you gotta play it raw. And I never ever let the fuckery get to me. Why not? Niggas ain't worth my energy. What you had to do? Cut them off, make them feel it. I ain't dealing with nothing if it don't make sense to me. I can't deal. I never ever go against my kind for some niggas on the other side. Never ever. I never ever put a bitch for the money, gotta get it when it come to mine. Check the thermostat, I been hot all summer. Trapping, you get whack, make it hard for your mama. Money bag runs in the pack, get a bundle. Plaque in a sack, both of them doing numbers. I ain't got a heart for a hoe, that's a big no. No go. No life, worry about the next hoe. Why though? Took back the keys to the benzo. All in the feelings, throwing clothes out the window. Psycho. Let's take a AK, cut it in half and call it a Draco. Let's go. I'm back on my old ways, round with that fat volcano, that fuego. Life insurance on my chain. Your life. Reach for it, bust your brain. Night. Loose noodle, no low main. Take out. Going out the way I came. Same route. I ain't never ran from a nigga. No, I ain't never. If I did, cut my legs out right now. I ain't never been with the whole talk, snitch talk, always talking about his fault. Nope. Yeah, I'm a stand-up nigga, got my bands up, nigga. You don't wanna see me pissed off. Real talk. Never tell a lie to a bitch, dog. Nope. When it come to them, you gotta play it raw. And I never ever let the fuckery get to me. Why not? Niggas ain't worth my energy. What you had to do? Cut them off, make them feel it. I ain't dealing with nothing if it don't make sense to me. Never ever. I never ever go against my kind for some niggas on the other side. Never ever. I never ever put a bitch for the money, gotta get it when it come to mine. Go.
Alrighty, get into it. It's your boy Jae Hard right here on ATL's Next 100. I got my best friends. I got my childhood friends with me. I got my boy Timmy D and my girl TZB. What's up, y'all?
Hey, we just still here. Glad to be here still.
Baby, it looked like y'all break was fun. I wish I was there. Break was fun. It looked like it was lit.
Together.
Yeah, it looked like it was lit. Y'all looking like the emoji lit. Okay. just playing with y'all. Okay, so we're still in the game portion of our show. The hit. We still got the hit going on. And Tim, this is for you. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All righty. So Snoop Dogg admitted to being a Trump supporter. Plies is being sued by YouTube for copyright infringement. Okay. And then rapper Juice WRLD died because he's overdosed on oxycodone and opioids. All righty. Do you need me to repeat that, sir? Remember, it's two lies.
It's the truth.
It's two lies and the truth. What's your truth, Tim?
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD. All righty. So the first lie was Snoop Dogg admitted to being a Trump supporter. We know he ain't going there.
We already know that.
He was going
hard. He went too hard on the boy. Okay.
Yeah,
so and then at all. Okay. It implies it's being sued by YouTube for copyright infringement. Now we know that's not true either. We ain't heard nothing about that. But the truth is that a rapper Juice WRLD died from overdose of oxycodone and opioids. Okay. So in the industry, you're getting ready to get into the industry, Timmy D, and you're going to be producing, you're going to be working with so many people. Do you think you're going to try opioids, or you think you will indulge in certain drugs like that to help you ease your mind and ease your pain?
Nah, because at the end of the day, like, with like certain things like that, I feel like, he was young, I'm older, so that's what makes it different for me. I'm kind of already set in stone on how I am as a person and what I like and what I don't like. So I think with the industry, it wouldn't really change me as a person. Like, the only thing that it will change is that I love what I'm doing instead of just like, a 9-to-5 type gig. But that'll be the only thing, and just more money. But other than that, like, as far as like taking medicine and like just popping pills, sipping lean, I know that ain't me. I might drink me a little alcohol now and then, and I might do some stuff or something like that. But that's what I already do. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be no thing like, oh, they got like some stuff, some pills or whatever they got, it's all on the table. It's because it's on the table don't mean I gotta do it. Like, that's what you into, that's what you into. But I know as far as me, I know what I'm into, and I know how far I take anything. So at the end of the day, it just really be about business more than anything.
Really, man, because they say certain drugs make that sex performance go a different route. Even if they make you last longer in the bed, Tim. Even if you last longer in the bed, you're not gonna try hitting that line off that table with that $100 bill, man.
Nah, you don't need all that.
And you said something. You said something very important. You don't need all of that, and I think that's what people fail to realize is that they don't need that stuff to get them to where they need to be. A lot of times, people take those drugs and they do it because they're trying to cope with something. They're trying to avoid something. And sometimes we don't need to. We got to stop avoiding our problems, and we got to hit those problems like this show say head on to fix it. When you try to go around the corner, when you try to do another curve, that does not work, and you still got to find something else to help you cope with that. So sometimes we'll take cocaine, right? We'll take that and say, we know what, this should help me with something, right? But then another problem occurs. Then we'll say, okay, let's do alcohol because I want to use alcohol to fix this problem. You keep building up more and more different type of drugs, or you keep using different drugs to help you cope with those problems instead of facing that problem head on and saying, you know what, I have an issue. I will need to get help. Who can I keep in my circle to help me stay motivated? Now, TZ, you, my friend, what are some of the things that you do to help you cope with your problems besides drugs? Some of the things that you do to help you cope with your problems besides drugs?
You already know. First time I have a problem, I'm about to call you and I'm going to get to you about my problem.
Right.
And I'm pretty much gonna call anybody that I trust to help. You know, sometimes you need a person that understands whether you're looking for a solution or if you're just looking to vent. Sometimes I want to talk to somebody and I don't want your opinion. I just want you to hear what I gotta say so somebody can understand where I'm coming from. Sometimes I could be calling because I absolutely don't know what to do. Like I just genuinely can't figure it out. And I need a friend or, you know, like a family member in my life that's like, hey, this is what I would do if I was in this situation. This is the best option that I see for you with the options that you have. And it's just, like I say, important to know what time or when somebody needs which.
Right. So I think, and I like that you said that, Tia, because a lot of times people don't keep positive people in their circles. They don't keep a group of friends who they can call and say, hey, I just need you to listen. Or I can call that friend and say, hey, I need you to get on my butt. And that's Tia. I can call Tia. I can call my homegirl Shamara, and I can call my homegirl Taryn. And I know good and well if I say, Tia, Shamara, Taryn, I need you to put your foot in my butt. They're going to put not only are they going to put their foot in my butt, they might slap me across my head a few times too. So it's just like, it's like you need to keep somebody in there that's going to tell you the truth at all times too. So that way. Also, let me give y'all some more details about this, about Juice WRLD and some of his previous interviews and what he said. Okay, so he often sang about his drug use, and he mentioned in a New York Times interview that he was trying to curb his use of Xanax. Okay, he mentioned in a song called Legends, "What's the 27 Club? We ain't making it past 21." When referring to the deaths of XXXTentacion and Lil Peep. Okay, so how do y'all feel about people counting young people out? And they're saying that they're not going to make it to the age 27, or they're not going to even make it to age 21. What is y'all's outlook on that? Knowing that we come from a millennial generation, and they're saying that because right now I turned 27 in April. Tia's, you know, we all around that 27, 28 mark, and they're trying to say that we're not going to live past that. How do y'all feel about that?
Really crazy because it's like, I don't know, I guess it's different for me because I grew up with my granddad. I felt like, you know, you're supposed to get old and you're supposed to look back at your life and be like, this is what I did. And like at 21, like you ain't really did too much of nothing. Like I felt like, you know, like what they say, a man brain though developing to his 25,
30.
Yeah, my uncle just told me 35. He was like, you ain't a man until you 35. So like, you know, when you supposed to go like level. I feel like at a certain point of time you're supposed to level up. And at 21, how you supposed to? You don't like, you still a baby too because you just graduated like 3 years ago. You ain't really, yeah, you haven't had a chance to live there. Like some people be like 21 and never left their neighborhood. Like, it's like more to life. Like, you know, it's like a lot of stuff you gotta experience, and you're not gonna experience in that short range of time. Like, it's still stuff like with me just turning 28 yesterday. It's like one of them things. Like, I still be getting surprised with stuff. I'm like, oh, like it's like you gonna keep on growing and developing. You're not gonna stop, so you might as well. I feel like the goal is to get old, so when you have grandkids, you can kind of give them that wisdom that you didn't have, but you learned. At least you know they can kind of like, even though, you know, people got their own mind, they might get little hints and stuff right here. They be like, oh yeah, my grandpa already gave me the game on this thing. Now I know how to operate with it. So like, if you can't even like get to that, what is the point of living if you don't want to get to that point in life?
Right. So, and I totally agree. Agree with you, Tim, on that. What do you think, Tia? How do you feel about them saying that? You know, because we're getting ready to hit that 27 mark, and they're trying to say, baby, after 27, it ain't no more. We're distinct. You know, got no legacy. How do you feel about that, my friend?
Yeah, well, you know, I kind of feel like that's sad because as a kid, like what Tim said, you know, I grew up in the house and my granny was there. I didn't know that people die so young. I usually thought it was natural causes or we get old or, you know, like if you get shot or something. But other than that,
right.
Like, I didn't know. To me, it wasn't a real thing to not see a certain age unless you was living a certain life. Like if you was in the streets, then it's expected that people might say that you won't live. But for people who not in the streets, just people who do drugs or just in general, you just don't expect to not make it past a certain age.
That's fact, and I think we have to alter the way that we look at stuff too. I think our generation, we are so caught up in gang, we're so caught up in drug abuse and things like that, but we forget that when we speak negative things, we put that out into a universe, and those negative things sometimes become our life. We speak that into existence, and I think that if we say, like Tim said, oh, he's grew up where he around older people where they, they taught him to be that you're going to grow to a certain age. If you speak that into your children and you teach them, hey, a normal life expectancy rate is 60 years old. Strive to live for 60 or 70 years old. That way you can build a legacy, because him saying in his rap that he doesn't expect to live to 21 or to 27. It kind of makes young kids kind of think that, you know what, I better live my life until I'm 21, meaning I got to go as hard as I can right now and doing as much drugs and killing as many people as right now as I can, instead of allowing us to take our time, allowing us to build patience. And I think that's another thing that we lack as a generation, that we don't have patience and we have to rush and do stuff. Man, the best advice comes from people in their 40s, their 50s, and their 60s, the people who have lived the best wisdom. I can't wait to get to my 40s and I have built this empire to be able to go to Dubai and live on an island, like I heard one of my classmates say. She said, one of my classmates on social media said today, she said, I am trying to make sure by the time I'm 40, I could be sitting on an island in Dubai, period. I never want my goal to be that. Yeah, I never want my goal to be in life is that, oh, I'm 27 and that's it for me. Meaning that when I turn 27 in April, all I got is head on. All I got is my college degree, and that's it. I have not done nothing in this lifetime that's worth me leaving here at 27. So I totally agree with y'all. All righty. So we got one more two lies and a truth. Okay. So this one will go back to Teasy. Are you ready, my good friend?
Yes, I am.
All righty, so listen closely. Vantasia checked herself into rehab in 2006 for the use of heroin. Okay. Famous Dex reportedly checked into rehab with the help of Rich the Kid and NLE Choppa. Demi Lovato has never used drugs and she has never suffered from a mental disorder. What is the two lies and what is the truth?
The truth is definitely about Famous Dex checking into rehab with the help of Rich the Kid and Nelly Choppa.
Yeah, so that's the truth for sure. Alrighty, so we have another famous person who this time he recognized that he needed help, right? He checked himself into rehab with the help of his friends because he had the positive people around him motivating. Okay. And he checked himself into rehab. So my question is this. You have people, do we have enough negative people in our life, or do we have enough positive people in our life to tell us when we're wrong? Now, we talked about this earlier about how we need friends and things like that, but do y'all have more positive people in your life, or do y'all have more negative people?
I feel like it's like a balance. It's like a balance at the end of the day. Like, I got a lot of people that do care for me and they do be like saying what's the best for me. But then again, you got like people that's like really not negative. They just kind of like
a yes man.
Yeah, make it a yes man. Or you got the other people that like kind of personalize themselves. Like, personalize the situation, make it more like about them than you. Like, they kind of be like, yeah, like if you tell somebody about like cheating or something they've been cheated on, they'll make it more about their cheating than what's going on in your situation. And then, like you said, with the yes men, it'll be the people that kind of like just kind of sitting there and not really talking. They just really talking to get the conversation passed so they can get whatever they want from you.
The person that always wants to be on your side, whether you right or wrong, so they can say that I always been on your side.
I've always supported you. Yeah, I ain't never told you right from wrong. That's crazy. So let me give y'all a little bit of information, okay, about this famous deck. So fans and NLE Chopper expressed concerns after a few images and videos surfaced of him. In some of the videos, he appeared to be frail and possibly intoxicated. How important is having good support around you? Okay, so we just talked about that, and we talked about having good support around you. Now, in those images, it says that he was frail and he was intoxicated. What can we imply about him being frail?
Haven't been eating. He's spending that money on drugs.
He dehydrated.
Your priorities, guys and young ladies out there, your priorities is when y'all get that money and you want to spend it all on sex. We know my little baby, spending his money on paying for sex, stuff like that. We want to spend. Yeah, we spending the check on that good cat, and I ain't mad at it. If it's good, just pay for it. But we have to prioritize, because you telling me, let me tell y'all something. One of the most things I love to do in this world is what, Tia? Eat. And you telling me that you taking all your money, you just spending it on alcohol and drugs, and you ain't eating no caviar? Nah.
Yeah, they wild with that. I'm
gonna drink it, I'm gonna snort. Okay, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna drink it, I'm gonna snort, I'm gonna balance it, but I'm gonna catch it up here.
You gotta have that food.
Yeah. So
I'm doing it. I'm eating breakfast before I get lit.
Man, say the first thing I'm waking up in the morning is I'm looking for a box of cereal or something. Come on now.
Man.
So they say he was frail and he was intoxicated. So we can say that he has not been eating. A lot of times people don't eat because of a sign of depression. They don't want to eat. They don't feel like leaving their house. They're in dark rooms and things like that. So those are different signs of depression, different things of mental state. You have to know the signs and recognize that, guys and ladies out there, when you are going through these things. Know that when you're feeling lazy. So if you're an energetic person, like me, I'm an energetic person. Anytime that I feel like I am down and I feel like I don't want to be bothered, or I don't like to be around people because I love people, I'm a people's person, I feel like I'm going through a state of depression. Okay. If I like to stay in my room all day in the dark, I don't want to leave the house. That's a state of depression. One thing about me, I love to talk. I call Tia 3 and 4 times a day. I call my best friends 3 and 4 times. I love to talk. If they don't hear from me, they know something is wrong. So for one, we need to make sure that we recognize the signs in our depression and things like that. Make sure y'all eat, people. Don't be doing these drugs and these alcohol and all this stuff. Make sure you eat. That's the most important thing. And we talked about NLE Chopper earlier, how NLE Chopper was one of those rappers who are speaking positivity to our young men and women out there. He has been, let me tell y'all how I knew NLE Chopper before I knew NLE Chopper did music. I knew NLE Chopper from him going viral in his backyard for all of the natural grown products that he does when it comes to food. And so That right there is a prime example on how you need to treat yourself. Make sure you put good stuff into your body. Take care of yourself. If you're feeling like a state of depression, especially if you're a person of a celebrity status and you have money, go get you some help. It's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. It's nothing wrong with that. Now, let me ask y'all this, Tia and Tim. How do y'all feel about seeking a therapist, about going to get therapy?
Yeah, I really think that's a good idea. It's always good to hear an unbiased opinion, somebody who's not, fully involved in your life. And instead of coming at you with a personal opinion, it's a scientific opinion or a scientific fact. But that's what's really important, is getting to an unbiased opinion and something that's backed by studies.
Right. That's really good. What about you, Tim? How do you feel about, because as Black people, we feel like going to get help is something that makes it seem like something is wrong with us. We're mental retarded or something like that. So how do you feel about seeking out to get help, seeing a therapist and things like that?
I don't know. I feel like everybody should have a therapist at some point in time, because it's just like she said, it's unbiased opinions, and it's not like somebody who's gonna tell you something like I was saying, with it personalizing to them. They just know, like, scientifically, okay, this is what's going on, and you might not even know like something wrong with you. Like, you might been living, because I actually had took like counseling classes from work. It's like at my job they had like different like psychiatrists come in there, and they kind of like break down how you is mentally. And like, like you might think you like probably the perfect person, but they gonna find something like you be like, oh, I may need to work on that, because at the end of the day, I might not thought it was a big deal, but when they like bring it to your attention, you be like, oh, it do make a big difference, yeah. Like you might, like you said, because you walk around and you might know yourself personally, but it's some things you kind of look over. It's more of like it's like with a psychiatrist to kind of make you take more accountability with it, because you kind of you live that way, so in your mind it's normal. So when you have that outside person that be like, yeah, it's maybe normal in your life, but it can make change your life, because they're not just gonna be like, okay, it's at normal and all that, but they gonna like tell you like you may can change it, and it will get you to where this may be different in your life. It'll pinpoint things for you that you may not even thought of, because on a day-to-day basis, like you said, we don't think we need a psychiatrist. You be thinking, okay, that's crazy if I go to a psychiatrist, so I'm gonna think they gonna think I might get a straight jacket and all that, but it ain't really like that. It's just really more of like a thing, like it just they pinpoint things in your life that you might just thought was normal but wasn't normal, and you look at it might change the way you move in life. Like you might move different, and it may make you happier just because you was like, this was what been holding me back for the longest, but since I was so programmed to think a certain way that I thought I was weak if I jumped on that topic or just approach it.
Right. So that's awesome, Tim. I like that. And I will tell you this, people, don't be afraid to go get help, because certain things that, like y'all say, certain things that we think are good in good qualities and traits in ourselves, that therapists can bring something out of you. In 2013, 2014, I went to see my first therapist in college, right? And I always used to brag on how I like to be perfect when it comes to business. I like to be perfect in the business world. And then I remember when we had our meeting, one thing Tim said he liked about me is that I was prompt and I was taking notes, right? And I tell y'all all the time that I like to be perfect when it comes to business. Well, when I was telling my therapist this, she was like, why do you like to be perfect so much? What went on in your life that nothing was perfect enough for you, or nothing went right enough for you in order for you to have to be perfect in this genre in your life all the time? So y'all, me think I'm bragging and thinking being great and being perfect in business, in which I still try to make sure I keep a great business a great business trait about me, but I also had to do a deep dive within myself, and I had to think back on why do I try to be so perfect when it comes to the business world, the corporate world, because a lot of stuff did not go right with me as a child. Not saying a lot, but like me and my mom, we had financial problems. We were unstable when it comes to financial problems, and we moved like 13 times during my whole childhood. So that was why and after talking to my therapist, I understood that's why. But please, y'all don't go nowhere. Please get your mental mind together. We hitting it head on right here on ATL's Next 100 with TZB and Timmy D. Come on back. Take us a break now.
Next 100. Stand up. Get it pop right now. Atlanta's home for hip hop and R&B.
Number one station for hip hop and R&B.
You know what the deal is.
ATL's Next 100.
Metro on that beat. But pull that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. My mama told me, boy, make a decision. Right now I gotta keep a ton of vision. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. Look cold that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. My mama told me, boy, make a decision. Right now I gotta keep a ton of vision. They sending all my homies on a mission, and I ain't tryna miss out on these millions. I jumped up out the red, call that Valerie. I get in the girl I want, in the girl I want. She want me to say the day, but I ain't got a cake. She wanna see me every day, she wanna be my baby. That money make me come and make me fornicate. On this shit, I need some toilet paper. Follow my player rules and we gon' be okay. On the real, I need a bitch who gon' cooperate. Look, pull that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. My mama told me, boy, make a decision. Right now I gotta keep a ton of vision. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. Look cold that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. My mama told me, boy, make a decision. Right now I gotta keep a ton of vision. They sending all my homies on a mission, and I ain't tryna miss out on these millions. I told you niggas I gon' be that fucking nigga. Everything be good until you doing better than them. They wanna see a nigga shot, see me in the system. All you niggas out here poison like snake venom. Codeine in my liver, rockin' Balenciaga denim. I'm booted even when I'm sober, I don't need a jiggle. They sending all my niggas on a fucking joint. I told that baby to come over cause I'm fucking horny. My mama told me, kid, these niggas, son, keep it going. I'm thug to the bone, but I'm still her baby boy. Look who that boy, they hate to see you in a form. They miss when you was in that Yoda kicking doors. Look cool that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. My mama told me, boy, make a decision. Right now I gotta keep a ton of vision. Section 8 just straight cook the motherfucker up.
I'm finding everybody. Helicopter in the middle of the hood, I'm flying everybody. All this fame these niggas be chasing, I swear I don't care about it. Boy, you play, you gon' die in front of everybody. Leave some blood on the street by some red bottoms. Hard to hell, but I wish that they headshot and free my nigga alone with the feds. I used to pray for a plug and go out the way and come back with a lot of them bitches. I used to dream about condos when we live in Lennox, now I stay on top of them bitches. I wouldn't give a damn if he ran them up a whole billion, I still wouldn't acknowledge the nigga. He put my name in the song, what the fuck is he on? I don't care, but we gotta go get him. House big as fuck in the middle of nowhere. I dig it down, I don't care with my hoe well. I made Lil' Kel spin the block on the 4-wheel. Not for real, spin the block on the 4-wheel. $5 million for me, that ain't no deal. Hadn't made that time 6 in like 3 years. All this rap shit, I can't even talk about this trap shit. I just hope they can take it. I keep me a stallion like making a residency out in Vegas. Might fly to LA and go fuck with LeBron and the Lakers. Come back to Atlanta with Jada, bro. Told us to take care of the neighbors and stack all the paper. Whatever we want, buy it later. I know how to shit on the hater and handle the business. Whatever God give me, I'm grateful. I'm finding everybody. Helicopter in the middle of the hood, I'm flying everybody. All this fame these niggas be chasing, I swear I don't care about it. Boy, you play, you gon' die in front of everybody. Leave some blood on the street by some red bottoms. Hard to hell, but I wish that they headshot and free my nigga alone where the feds got it. For everyone around me, I ran it up, how the fuck is you down me? She said for life, how the fuck is you clowning? Bought all this water, I'm never gon' drown. I'm in New York, I'm perfecting my sound. I held them out and they let me down again. I ain't coming back around again. Fell in love, man, I didn't get on the motor. My brother in prison in Polo, I jumped in the game and went loco. I put on these clothes like a hobo, there's layers of drill. I show my ass and feel. You play your man, get killed. Say that before, but I'm dead for real. Lil' bro jumping around like his legs in here. I ran it up, I was vac and seal. If I fall off the day, I'm a legend still. Bro, show me the way, I ain't never still. This Glock ain't no pop, it'll pop for real. I fuck with that syrup, I don't pop no pills. My young niggas turn down, got no deals. I need me a billion so I can chill. I'm driving like ain't got no license still. My track I move like it got nitrogen. I'm popping still. I'm flying at everybody. Helicopter in the middle of the hood, I'm flying at everybody. All this fame these niggas be chasing, I swear I don't care about it. Boy, you play, you gon' die in front of everybody. Leave some blood on the street by some red bottoms. Hard to hell, but I wish that they headshot and free my nigga alone where the feds got it. I paid attention and found out the recipe. I take a seat and they still won't get held to me. I'm on my shit now, bitch can't get next to me. You ain't got 100,000, you can't have sense with me. Ain't showed the best to me yet, and ain't in nobody debt. I'm something like a vet. I bought my big brother a vet. My number so good, my label probably owe me a check. They play with a baby, I swear it's gon' go down. The biggest little nigga that's over in Motown. Jumped out the porch and went straight, kick the dough down. Flip the clip, switch the clip, get some more rounds. Rappers faking me, hating, I don't go round. I took 12 on the chase, I had 4 ounces. Asking around, we them guys, I do no clowning. If I can, I'ma try keep the smoke down. Once it's up, then it's stuck, it ain't go down. Like the switch while I sleep, I got 4 houses. Every time that he come, I made 4,000. Beat and gave me the game and I ran with it. Milk the game till I quit, I ain't playing with it. Could've been hit your bitch, I be sparing niggas. Make me mad, I'ma call on them grave diggers. Bought my mama new crib and it's way bigger. Never been to it once, that's a great feeling. I'ma go there when I get a chance. I lost 500 racks before I signed a deal. Swear to God, I still got my advance. Yeah, I'm lit, I been saving this follow up. Yeah, I hit, but she didn't get a follow up. Ain't no reason to beef with no one about none of these women. I promise they swallow at everybody. Helicopter in the middle of the hood, I'm flying at everybody. All this fame these niggas be chasing, I swear I don't care about it. Boy, you play, you gon' die in front of everybody. Leave some blood on the street by some red bottoms. Hard to hell, but I wish that they headshot and free my nigga alone where the feds got him.
All righty, get into it, get into it. It's your boy Jae Hard right here on ATL's Next 100. I got my girl TZB and my boy Timmy D, producer to some of the baddest people in the game. He's gonna be successful. Do y'all hear me? Before we left, we were talking about getting you some help, making sure you go get some help from somebody that can give you a scientific determination, like my girl say, a scientific determination, because when you go get that therapeutic help from somebody who can give you a scientific determination, they can bring something out of you that you don't think is a flaw. And like I mentioned before the break, I talked about how when I went to see my therapist and I was bragging about how I like to be perfect, she brought something out of me and she made me discover that, hey, the reason you like to be perfect so much is because something in your life was not perfect enough for you, or something in your life didn't go a certain way that you would have liked it. So you think that you need to be perfect in everything else. Okay. So what's going on, guys? How y'all feeling? What's going on, my girl TZB and Timmy D? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling?
We
We good.
We good. Like I say, we just happy to be here. Really happy for you, friend. I'm really proud of your podcast. You've been saying that you wanted to do this, and you just jumped in. You went head on with it.
Head on.
And
Period.
I'm really proud of you, and I'm just really happy to be here and share this moment with you because as friends we've been through a lot, but it's always great to be with your friends when they're achieving goals.
Yeah,
You
we're
better
grateful
talk
to
it.
be
You
on here,
better talk.
especially just at the least at the start. So when you make it the big change, we can say we
Yeah,
seen
we
it
can.
from the beginning.
And let me tell you, Tim, you my first male. You the first male co-host I done had on this thing. So we gonna make sure we put that down in the history books, okay? We're gonna make sure you the
Okay,
first D I
Yeah,
done
making history.
you gotta play your
had.
moments back and stuff like that.
Oh, y'all something else. But up next, guys, we got the hold up moment. If you don't know what the hold up moment is, the hold up moment of the show is when we talk about jaw dropping topics that make you say, hold up, wait a minute, did they actually do that? Yes, they did. Okay, this is the hold up moment. This is the hold up moment. Okay, so we got Kayla B and Cuban Doll had a physical altercation. Okay, the social media stars. The social media stars decided to meet up in downtown Atlanta. Shout out to the home team, Atlanta, Georgia. They did it right there where we at, located in Atlanta. They downtown Atlanta to settle their differences in person. Some say it started with a tweet from Cuban Doll that states, "You told on your own blood, B. You different." Others say it started because Cuban tweeted that she wanted to have sex with King Von, Kayla B's brother. Well, Kayla B responded and said, "Man, you steady making up shit. You are weird. Text me, let's fight." Do y'all think these two handled this beef the right way?
Nah, especially with Kiva and just, I can see where his sister is just probably just, like she grieving and some people grieve different, so she probably had on some grieving stuff. But with the other girl, she should have just kind of like, she should have let that alone because he done passed away. Let that man rest in peace and stuff like that. Don't be just throwing dirt on somebody now who can't defend themselves. So it's like one
Right.
of them things. Like they should have just kind of left it alone. Don't put no disrespect on his name or nothing like that. Like kind of just like let it be. Whatever happened, like it happened. Like he ain't here to defend himself. At least let that man like having a light in a positive way, not in no negative way.
Yeah, because he already died for a stupid reason, and now we adding more to it by
Yeah.
just doing all this extra stuff. Yeah, I totally understand. So what about you, TZB? How do you feel? Do you feel like they handled that beef in the right way?
Um, the adult part of me says no,
Okay, but that
but
immature.
the immature say, the one with brothers and the one with homeboys say, nah, you should still be beating her ass today because
Tap
if you didn't have all of that to say while he was here to, like you say, defend himself or to even, why wait until after he passed to say something like this? Now I feel like at this point I got to beat your ass because you never said this before, you never mentioned him, you never talked about him. Now all of a sudden he gone and you wanna, why are you playing with him? That's the immaturity. But the adult me says no, that wasn't the right way because it's just the internet, it's social media, it's not that deep. People say stuff all the time that they really don't mean because it's the internet. You can be whoever you want to be on the internet. Nobody can tell you except for people who know you. But
Right.
I'm torn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably she
For
probably didn't know
me,
she was gonna be around.
for me, I tapped into my rich lifestyle. Okay, I'm thinking about the money and stuff that they got as social media stars, but I'm also thinking about the death of my brother. Now, I don't have any siblings, but I know how close my family is and how close they would have raised me. So I'm kind of like T. I'm on the fence. I'm thinking about my rich lifestyle. I got all this money. I ain't finna meet up with nobody. I ain't got the time for it. I'm finna just let you have it. But I'm also thinking about no matter how much money I got or where I'm at in this world, if somebody of my family passes away and you're still speaking on certain things, you feel like you need to subtweet me, you need to talk about who he is when he's gone, then yeah, I might have to meet you up and I might have to tap that ass a little bit because you're not being considerate of my emotions. What they say when they say let that person grieve, let me grieve, sis. Don't say nothing about my brother because he not here, and then you don't know what state of mind that me and my family are in after his death. This man got shot and killed over some beef. And then you got the nerves to be saying, oh, he said he wanted to F on me. Oh well, y'all keep that private between yourself. If that's something that he wanted to do, you take that to your grave. Because why do you need to brag on it if he's not here to defend that? You know, so. I totally agree, but I don't think they handled it in a professional way, because even me now being as poor as I am, when I see females get on social media, or when I see dudes get on social media and they go live and they discuss their relationships, the girls meet up and fight over dudes, or dudes meeting up and fighting over these girls. I think it's the most stupidest thing ever. How do y'all feel about people who get on social media and take their drama and bring their business to social media?
One thing about me, that's something that I really don't like. Like, if you don't like me and I don't like you, that's fine. We don't have to like each other, but don't get on the internet talking about me. Because I'm not going to get on the internet talking about, I will have to talk about me, but I'm not going to do it first, because it just don't, it just don't make no sense. Because why put people in our business? That's basically what you're doing. You want to make a show. And sometimes you might start a show, but it's not going to end the way you would like it to. So that's one of the biggest pet peeves. If we fall out, whether we gonna be friends in 20 minutes, or we might not never talk again until we die, just don't talk about me on the internet, please.
Yeah, don't talk. Tim, how do you feel? Do you, when you get into it with your girl and she piss you off, do you put the pictures up where she ripped your clothes up? You put them out there on the internet, let people know she ripped your clothes up, man?
I ain't finna let nobody be in my business, because at the end of the day, if you getting money, you ain't finna be in nobody's business at the end of the day, because you're gonna be worrying about your own. And then I'm the type that, like, if something like that happen, I ain't finna have nothing like that happen, but if something was happen like that, I'm gonna handle that amongst me and her. Not like, I feel like when you put people in your business, it kind of enhances it more than what it really could be. And then, like, even if that did happen and you decide to go back with her, then everybody gonna be like, you stupid and all that. So it's really just best to handle amongst yourself instead of just like putting people in your business, because it'll make it worse than what it really has to be.
And you never know who waiting for y'all to fall out to take advantage of that.
And what I don't understand is anything that I do in life, I have to get something out of it. Okay. And I don't understand what they are getting out of it when you post and put your business on social media. You think that you're embarrassing the other party, but you're actually embarrassing yourself. Especially when you put some stuff up there about what he or she has done to you, and then you go back in a few days. That makes you look like the biggest plum I know. Okay, and I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all see certain things, but when it's certain things that I don't like, I want to squish it. If I see a bug that's too big, if I see something, I want to pick at it. And some shit I want to pick at y'all for putting shit on there, and y'all be making yourself look like a fool. Y'all, we got to stop that. And we're talking about mental health, right? What people don't know, certain things like that, is people need help, because it's some type of mental disorder or mental mind that you are in, that you don't know that it has derived from somewhere. Meaning sometimes it could be not having that father figure, meaning not having that father figure, that motherly figure, or meaning somebody didn't teach you how to love yourself, or how to know that yourself is so important in this world that you should not be putting screenshots of him texting another girl on social media. Also, what people don't know, since we're talking about mental health and things like that, when you involve the public, that messes with your mind, because you start bringing them into your business, and that opens up an airway for them to input their opinions. That makes you start looking at, that makes you start thinking, taking in what they're saying, then you start going crazy, and that ain't right. That ain't right, and you got to let that go. Go get you some help. Okay. All right. So. Yeah, they need to get them some help. It's crazy. Because it bothers me, because it's like some of these women out here have master's degrees. They have PhDs, man. They have all the sense in the world, but then they messing with dudes who barely have Yeah, that self-esteem, that's something else. Yes, sir. Then you mess with dudes who barely have a GED, who did not go to school after the 8th grade, and then that's what you want to sit down and have a baby by. You want to sit down and make yourself look dumb by. If you telling me that's nothing, that's no mentalness going on in your head, I don't know what it is. I'm no therapist and I don't have no master's degree, but I know something
But I know
ain't right.
something.
Something is not twisting in your mind to say that, hey sis, you better than that.
This ain't
hey
right.
bro, you better than
real.
that. This ain't right. Okay. So up next, y'all, up next, we got Amy Winehouse. Okay, we got Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse Amy Winehouse emerged as one of the most talented singers of the decade in 2006, becoming the first British woman to win 5 Grammys. Amy died at 27 due to alcohol poisoning. Her short life was plagued by bouts of depression, self-harm, eating disorders, and drug and alcohol addiction. She was in a toxic and volatile relationship with husband Blake Fowler-Civil. This led to more deeper spirals of substance abuse and outrageous behaviors that made it not easy for the press and paparazzi to play on her. Okay, so we all know Amy Winehouse. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, don't she sing that song? I don't want to write you. That one right there. Is that my girl? Is that her? That's Amy, right? Yeah, she sing that song. We're gonna say yeah, but let me tell y'all, radio, we allegedly gonna say it. We ain't gonna but I think that's my girl who sings that. Well, if you did not follow Amy's career, if you followed Amy's career, you know she was a great singer, but you also know that she was known for the media as being a mess. Every time we looked up during Amy Winehouse's career, she was known for being in a violent relationship. She was known for abusing drugs, or she was just known for being too skinny for her eating disorders. Okay. So my question is to y'all is that when you have all of this stuff that you're dealing with, maybe you might be in a violent relationship, you might have issues at work, you might be thinking about the negative stuff that people are saying to you, and from how do y'all deal with that?
Well, if you gotta take accountability. That's first. You gotta be aware of what's going on around you. That's where it first starts. If you ain't worried about what's going on, then you just gonna keep on doing it. You gotta really sit down with yourself one day and just realize, like, oh, this is actually a problem. Not like, oh, like this is cool or whatever, but I need help type stuff. You gotta actually know, like, this is really a problem and this is bringing me down. And then, like, or it's like that, you gotta also want to seek the help also. If you don't want to seek the help, it ain't gonna work regardless of who take you and everything. Like you can have 30 people try to take you there and hold you captive, but if you don't want to go, it's not gonna happen. That's something mentally that you gotta be with yourself. Everybody gotta come in terms with themselves at the end of the night with everything. No matter what you did in life, like you gotta come in terms with yourself. So if you not in terms with yourself, then you won't be able to seek no help. So that's the first thing. But once you get there, then it's gonna be easy process. Like, cause at the end of the day, you know you're gonna have withdrawals and all that stuff at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be a process that you're willing to try to get through.
Yeah, you have to be determined too. If you don't have that determination and that will to know that, hey, I want to try something different because I'm tired, I'm fed up. I'm gonna be honest and I'm gonna be vulnerable with y'all. I am always. But when I was almost 300 pounds at one time, right? And I said, hey, it's my time to change, and it's my time to change my way of eating. I was determined, and I knew that I was trying to get to a goal because I wanted to look a certain way. Well, if you never understand where your fault is, like you saying, Tim, you could never make strides in being better because how can you move forward if you never commit where you're wrong? And I think that's a great thing. One of the things that Amy realized, because in one of her interviews, she stated that, hey, I'm tired. In 2008, she said, I'm tired. She left her husband. She stopped drinking. She checked herself into rehab because at that time she knew that she wasn't happy, meaning that you got all this money in the world and you still not happy. You still feeling pain because every other thing in your life isn't going right, because guess what? You are allowing that to come in and furnish your whole your living area and yourself, you know? So don't let don't let yourself be the halt or the stop sign because you can't move or you can't elevate yourself, you know? So I agree with that. What are you feeling, Tia? How do you feel about Amy Winehouse? And she used to self-harm herself. She used to starve herself, meaning that she had an eating disorder and things like that. She was in a volatile relationship. How do you deal with certain things like that, my friend? Like when you have so much going on, you have different things. I know you don't cut yourself. I know you don't think about. So what is some of the things that you do in a positive way to help you cope with that?
So yeah, basically I just realized that, like I said earlier, that you're the only person that has to be happy with you and the things that you have to do. So what I'll do is I try and sit down and I'll think about what is it that would actually make me happy in this situation. Like, my last job that I had when I was working at the call center, I called you one day and I was just so over it. And I was just like, friend, I can't see myself doing this. Like, even if I move to a different department, if I try something new, if they put me in management, this is just not somewhere that I'm happy being. You said, so what is it that you want to do? And they made me think. It was like, yeah, if I decide to move from this situation, where am I going to take myself to? Am I going to take myself somewhere that's financially better than where I'm at? Am I going to take myself to where I'm more mentally happy where I'm at? You just have to figure out like what's more important to you at that time and what's going to bring you the happiness that you're looking for. Because like I said, that time that I went through with that job was like some of the worst I ever dealt with. And I was just like, I don't see me doing this. I'm like, I can't even see me doing this for the rest of the week. It was just so bad. But I had to figure out like, what is it that you really want to do? What is it that's really going to make you happy? Money is cool at the end of the day. Everybody want it, you need it for certain stuff, but it's not the only thing. You got to look for happiness in anything that you do and anybody that you meet. You just got to look for happiness for yourself, period.
Right. It's crazy you say money doesn't make us happy. One of the best advice I could get from my cousin when he was mentoring me growing up, he used to tell me, he said, don't pick no career that you are looking for money. You pick a career that makes you happy, because you'll be so miserable making millions and you'll be so miserable not happy. And as you can see, as we are noticing today, that all these artists, they make millions and millions of dollars and they're still not happy. And they still have to turn to drugs. They still have to turn to alcohol and things like that to make them happy. So my cousin, he was telling me, he was like, man, don't go into no career that you're going to make a lot of money and you're just doing it because of the money, because you'll turn yourself into something that you're not. You'll turn into this monster, this devil, because you're trying to be somebody you're not and you're trying to please others. Yeah. And we talked about having a tough skin. So in this industry, you have to have a tough skin to be able to survive. You got to be able to handle what the paparazzi is saying. You got to be able to handle what the fans is saying. You got to be able to handle what your producers, what your A&R people are saying to you. You have to be able to have that tough skin, and you have to be able to walk away with that, with those things, and be able to let those go when you leave that room. See, a lot of times people take all of that stuff that they're in their room with, all of the negative stuff that the A&R people are telling them, the producers are telling them, they leave that room with it. Instead of leaving that baggage in that room and taking it somewhere and going somewhere else and doing what makes you happy. Now, we try. One thing that I like to do, and I don't know about other people, is that I like to play gospel music, and we'll talk more about that when we come back from break. Don't y'all go nowhere. Hit your head. Don't hit your head on. Right here on ATL's Next 100. We'll be back.
All day, every day.
Atlanta's home for hip hop and R&B.
You know what this is? Your place to find new music.
ATL's Next 100.
Hey, baby, the ambassador, partner. Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 diamond chains on. Yeah, 4 diamond rings on. M's on top of M's when I came home. My little bitch, she ratchet, yeah. Bend her over, stab it. Yoppers down dead. Let her push a nigga have it. I be dead fresh. Bitch, close casket. I got money habits. Tragic. You see the pounds, now you don't. Trap, nigga, magic. 1,000 pounds gone. If I make it, man, me disappear. Am I wrong? Getting head on the E-way. I just hope I make it home. Bitch ratchet just like Trina, but she fine like Nia Long. She bad and she a savage, yeah. Pretty and she nasty, yeah. Do she call me daddy, yeah. Met her in Louisiana, fucked her down in Dallas, yeah. Dog, did you get your first million sending things from Cali, yeah. All we know is trapping, yeah. 100 rounds in traffic, yeah. Hey, trap, 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 count, 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 hey, count. Hey, if your bitch look good, then I might take her. Yeah, yeah. I just fuck them, nah, I don't wanna date her. Yeah, yeah. Nigga, wear your cake, you look like Captain Saver. Money keep calling me, bitch, I see you later.
Run to the paper just like I'm a raider. My phone out of data, I don't do no dating. The way with the tape, I run to the paper. The bitch want a bracelet, that bitch got a face it. They told me be patient, I ran out of patience. Red bottom walking, I'm stepping on Satan. Running knee play, got me feeling like Peyton. On the way to the Judy, young nigga go crazy. Ooh, two braids. Doja Cabana on my shoelaces. Two bitches and me, that's two-face. Eating that dick like toothpaste. I white off, pay for it cash, no write-off. Real nigga, baby, no knockout. Every nigga that beef get knocked off. 458 in the bag, 2700 on the tag. Cook it, cut it, stash it, hole in the mattress. Nigga, I'm tryna roll me a paddock. Line way long in the alley. Nigga, we control the traffic. 100 some bowls in the attic. They gon' be mad at my family. Finna go ice on my granny. I ain't even got no Grammy.
Trap, 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 count, 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 hey, count. Hey, if your bitch look good, then I might take her. Yeah, yeah. I just fuck them, nah, I don't wanna date her. Yeah, yeah. Nigga, wear your cape, you look like Captain Saver. Money keep calling me, bitch, I see you later, gone.
Young Chop on the beat.
On light, Jimmy baby, on light, sauce baby, no you rock baby, fake niggas, yeah. A fuck nigga, that's that shit I don't like. A snitch nigga, that's that shit I don't like. A bitch nigga, that's that shit I don't like. Sneak dissers, that's that shit I don't like. Don't like, don't like. A snitch nigga, that's that shit I don't like. Don't like, don't like. A bitch nigga, that's that shit I don't like. A pop bitch, that's that shit I don't like. I got a bad bitch, yeah, that bitch right. We smoke dope all day, all night. You smoke Reggie, that's that shit I don't like. We got a fucking Audi, that bitch alright. Pull up skirt, yo bitch, bet she going right. So bitch, yeah, I done gone ice. Pistol I don't like. Nah. A snitch, nigga, that's that shit I don't like. Nah. A bitch, nigga, that's that shit I don't like. Nah. Sneak this up, that's that shit I don't like. Nah. Don't like. Don't like. A snitch, nigga, that's that shit I don't like. Don't like. Don't like. A bitch, nigga, that's that shit I don't like. Don't like. Don't like. A snitch, nigga, that's that shit I don't like. Don't like. Don't like. A bitch, nigga, that's that shit I don't like.
Get into it. 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 It's your boy Jae Hard. We hitting it head on right here on ATL's Next 100. I got my people with me, the hottest people in the city, and y'all know I keep it with me. What it do, y'all?
Hey, we still here. Want to let you know
yes,
that
y'all are.
he's doing his job.
Yeah, he playing them bangers.
Ain't he doing it? Because that's that shit we don't like. My boy Johnny gonna play them hits. Y'all should see me on break. I don't know if y'all can see my camera on break, but I'm in this thing like a jet.
Yeah, he rolling.
He hitting that thing. So before we left out for break, we were talking about Amy Winehouse, and we were talking about how she spiraled out of control when it came to her mental breakdowns and her mental health and things like that. So just to recap, one thing my girl Teezy said and my boy Timmy D said, they said that once you are in that state and when you know that you're going through all of this stuff, you have to recognize, you have to first admit that you are wrong. You got to know where the mistake is, what's happening first, and then you need to try to move forward. Amy Winehouse, she was going through abuse from her husband. She was trying to commit suicide, having eating disorders, and she was using drugs and alcohol to cope with stuff. But she also, in 2008, she finally woke up and said, you know what, I'm done. I want to go to therapy. I want to check myself into rehab. She recognized where she was wrong. Now, what happened was with Miss Amy Winehouse is that when she, after not having a drink for about 2 or 3 years, she decided to have a drink. Well, since her body was not used to her not drinking, her body went into like a stage of, I guess, the rest or something like that, where it shut down and her heart stopped beating, and she went into a coma. So ultimately, they diagnosed her with alcohol poisoning. It was the reason why she died. Okay, but make sure, like my boy Tim say, make sure you acknowledge where the first mistake might be, or when the first thing that makes you feel a certain way. Make sure you acknowledge that first, okay? Then go out and seek help. Go stay around positive people, and don't be afraid. And I think the most important thing about this show is not to be afraid to ask for help. How y'all feel about that? Do y'all have anything to add about Miss Amy Winehouse? Any opinions or anything, my good people?
Well, I kind of do feel like it was hard for her to find that help, because you married. When you marry somebody, that's basically telling them, I trust you with my life, I trust you with my well-being. And if you abusing me and I've already given you that trust, I'm probably going to feel like nobody else is going to have my back if my own husband don't. So I really feel for her on that part, because it's very important when you get married to find somebody that's for you, somebody that's gonna love you, somebody that's gonna want the best for you overall, somebody that's gonna actually do what it takes in order to make sure that you are always where you need to be as far as mental.
All right, I love to hear it. What about you, Timmy D?
Yeah, it's just what she said. Like, it's kind of hard when the person that you look for, like, on a daily basis, like, to build you up, is like turn you down to make you feel like you worthless, to where the point you start believing it. That's when, like, it's like one of them things you gotta just have accountability. You gotta still love yourself at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you should already know mentally, like, even though he turned you down, you still gotta feel like, yeah, I'm still the shit regardless of what he's saying. So that's where it's like, when she leave the toxic going, when the toxic was gone, it probably made it for her to where it's like, I can be the person I really supposed to meant to be, not what he told me I was.
Right. And it's crazy, and I love that you brought that up, Tia, that you're supposed to confide in your husband, or you're supposed to lean on the person you committed to. And a lot of times we don't have that person that we're married to. They don't give us that. And if they're abusive to you, if after you done tried so many times, you done gave your all, you have to find your strength in how to leave that person. What helps you? What motivates you? What helps you get better? Like my grandmother, when she was married to my grandfather, and my grandfather, he was abusive, where my grandmother had 3 girls, right? She stayed with him for 8 years. She was married to this man in hopes that he would get better, but he didn't. So what she found her strength in is like we talked about earlier, you find your strength in your children. Like Tamar, you find your strength in your children. My grandmother found her strength in her children, and that's what motivated her to leave her husband. Meaning she said, I have 3 girls. I cannot allow them to grow up watching their father abuse me. Because what example would I have? Now, I don't know if Amy had any children, but certain things you have to find your strength. If you love music and you knew that, music was your therapist, or music was your motivation or something like that, she should have used that as her motivation to say, you know what? She was the first British woman to win 5 Grammys. She should have used that as her motivation to say, you know what? I want to be the first British woman to make 10 Grammys. But if I continue to use drugs, I won't get there. So let me get out of this. So sometimes we have to find that motivation and what makes us more happier than anything. Like I tell people, I love radio. I love to talk. So on the day of my show, I don't do any type of drinking. I don't drink no alcohol. I don't smoke no weed or nothing. I don't do any of that because I'm so passionate about my job and what I do. I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. So I think that's awesome. All righty. So up next we got Tip Tuesday. We got Tip Tuesday with my boy Tim. Tim, let us know some good tips about producing, or some good tips on how you start your day when it comes to producing beats for R&B artists. Some good techniques on how you stay motivated when it comes to producing those beats. If y'all don't know, my boy Tim, he's an R&B producer. He's an R&B producer. He has worked with Tory Lanez. He also worked with a dude named Trey Ward and things like that. So my boy, he's making moves. Yeah, he gonna be the next P. Diddy. He'll be the next P. Diddy.
Appreciate it.
Whoever you want to be.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Tell us my biggest tips.
The biggest tip really is like go back to what you said a long time ago about patience. You have to have patience at the end of the day. If you don't have patience, then you're gonna be like with me. I have to be like in a certain mental space to make beats. So like I have to like be in a good mental space, even though like the beats I make is like it may be emotions to it, but like mentally, me and myself, I gotta be in that space to make it, and so the beat can come out natural. And then you gotta also, one of the biggest things is, see me, I don't make type beats. I make my own type of beats. So like I feel like it's good to have your own sound to make you different from everybody. Because if you sounding like dude down the street, I might as well go to dude down the street and get the beat. So like that's one thing, to just be yourself at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, you gotta have that patience, because you might not have. It may not come out this year. Like it may come out 2 years later, but it was good for it to come out 2 years because it made a bigger difference. It came a year ago. So you gotta be patient also. That's one thing. And then just so you can stick out, just be yourself. So when they hear you on the radio or something, they be like, yeah, exactly. They already know who it is when they hear it. So it makes a big difference than like you playing something that a Metro Boomin type of beat maybe, and then they hear the Metro Boomin type of beat, and they be like, oh, Metro Boomin made it, and they giving him credit for something that you did, but you sounded like him, so it's like, you can't blame yourself.
You can't tell it apart because it's so similar.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me ask you this, Tim. So how do you make sure that your stuff is different? What is something that if I listen to your beat right now, how am I going to know that that's a Tim's beat or that came from Tim? What is something you try to do different in your beats? Mm-hmm.
Like my friends tell me, they always tell me, they be like, your beats are something that like nobody could just jump on and do, because you gotta feel it. All my beats have feelings in it. When you hear it, it's gonna put you in imagination of like something that happened in your life. So like That's one thing that's when you hear that, when you get that feeling, you be like, oh, okay, I feel that, so I already know what it is. And of course, my tag, I have my own tag, of course. But
Right.
mainly the feeling, it's just really all a feeling. It's a vibe. It's like a certain vibe, like that you get when you hear it. Like when you hear it, you be like, I already know because it's that vibe that you giving off that energy. Because I know I put a lot of energy and emotion in my thing, and I want everybody to feel where I'm coming from, even if there's no words on it. So, like at the end of the day, I feel like when people feel it, they already get that same feeling with each beat that I have.
Mm-hmm. How do you if you're sitting down with Tori, or you sitting down with what's the young lady the girl you did work with, what's her name again? I almost had it at the tip of my tongue. Yeah, that's it, Asia and all of them. If they tell you if they tell you they don't like something, how do you go and fix it? Or what's your game plan then? If they say, I don't like this beat, I want you to go back to the drawing board and redo it. What's your game plan then? Or how do you feel, or how do you get your mind together to handle that?
I don't feel no type of way. It don't make me feel bad. Cause it's always room for improvement. Cause it's good to have that extra person. Cause I make a lot of my beats by myself, so it's good to get that person to be like, hey, can you just turn this down a little bit? Cause cause I listen to my beats like over and over and over and over. So at a certain point in time, my brain might be trained to think like it's supposed to sound like that. And then you get that second opinion from somebody, and then you listen to it again, and you be like, "Oh shit, I fucked up right there." So like, I don't take it I take it as I like when they do stuff like that because it's just gonna make me better. Like with the Asia Kyrie girl, she always do that. Like she might get a beat and she be like, "Can you do this?" And she'll like send me a sound to listen to, and she'd be like, "Can you make it on the vibe of that?" And like I do it and stuff like that. I like that. Like it's like a challenge for me. Like it's gonna make me improve because I can't be just thinking my own self like, "Oh, this is the hardest beat." I'm not arrogant like that. Like, "Oh, this is the hardest beat." Whatever they say, they just being haters. Like I can't think like that. I gotta think like they hear something that I might not hear, and I gotta come in and I gotta work with them because their voice is gonna be on top of it too, and they know what they want. Because with the Asia Kyrie girl, she done took like beats of mine and like put them together. So I wouldn't never thought of that. So like you gotta have that person, that other creative person that's gonna do something that you wouldn't even think about.
Right. Okay, I like that, Tim. I like those tips. Now, let me ask you this: since we talked about mental music and the mind and things like that, and we also talked about having tough skin, and it looks like that's what you got, Tim. Is you got tough skin, tough skin, and you can take advice and things like that. What about if somebody is not receptive to your advice? Meaning that you might know, like you've been doing, you know a lot, and you know about beats and stuff. But what if you're trying to tell somebody something and they're not receptive of what you're trying to say, and they don't want to do it? How do you deal with that?
I done had a situation like that. It's like with that situation, it was like I was working with somebody on a project or something and the person wanted it a certain way, but I knew in a certain way it should sound like this because I already knew what he was on top, and I know how far I can go. So like with that situation, I just did the best of what I could do. Like personally, like just me, just make sure I stay on top of what I can do. Because if I'm handling business, at the end of the day, you got to match where I'm going with the business. You can't just be like riding my coattail because I'm gonna do what I need to do. So like with that situation, he was like not on top of what he was supposed to do, and with him kind of lacking, it kind of made a thing that didn't like where we was working where it's like my beat outshine what he had going on.
Right. So
because it was one of the.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, so
yeah,
I was just saying. So, oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go.
You got it, bro. It was just one of those moments where it was just like a moment of like people noticed what I was doing was right and what he was doing wasn't matching up where I go because it'd be like one of the moments like that beat hard, but you know what he got going on, it ain't. it ain't mixing well. They be like, I see if you would have had somebody else do something different, then it would match well.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome that you say that, because one of my next questions we're going to talk about professionalism. But I like that you said that you kept it professional and you told him what was right, and he still went with something else, and you continue to move forward. I think a lot of times people who are in this industry, they can't handle that. They can't handle the being told no. They can't handle something not going their way, and then they take that home with them. And that makes another problem, another issue that they form, and they need some type of coping mechanism to solve that. So I like that you have tough skin, and I think that's a good example for people who are listening to have tough skin when you get into the industry. Just know that you're going to hear no a million times in a row. I tell people this all the time. And it's crazy that I said this because over the weekend, I got to go to Black Ink Crew's grand opening in Houston. And I got to sit down with Caesar for about 2 minutes. I got to interview him. And one of the things he wanted to tell black men is that if you get, or black people, period, if you get knocked down 9 times, on that 10 times, you need to keep going. Meaning if somebody tells you no a million times, that yes that you get, you make sure that you grind on that yes so hard that they always want you to come back to work for them and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I like that you said that, Tim, that tough skin is something that you had to have, and you're not afraid to hear no, or you're not afraid to hear them say, well, I don't like that. I don't care what you think. It might be better, but I want to stick with what I want. Correct. And plus, when they paying, okay, you can whatever you want. You can have whatever you like. You can have whatever you like. All right, Tim. So my next question, since we're talking about professionalism, once you are more successful, how do you think you will motivate yourself to not fall into a mental state?
It'd be one of the things where, like, I feel like it'd be different for me since I kind of come in and kind of a little like later in my 20s where I kind of live life. So I already know where I came from at the end of the day. That's what motivated me, because I already had a life before. So when it comes into tuition, it'd be like it'd be like an icing on the cake of what I got. Like one of them things, like this is what I worked hard for, and this is what God had blessed me with. So I can't jeopardize what he wouldn't put me there if I wasn't meant to be there at the end of the day. So I gotta make sure that I gotta still do God's work at the end of the day. If he give me that opportunity and that advantage to get there, then I gotta take heed of it and just do my chess move with it. I can't think negative because I already became from like a certain situation where I wasn't doing that. So when it get there, it's like this is the time where like God has put me here where I gotta play ball and really get in here.
Right.
Just with us, like at the end of the day, like what we doing is like nothing like what's going on in our city. Like there's not a lot of people doing. We can't turn to somebody that's next door to us with with connections or anything. We gotta actually mold our situation out and make it the way we want it. So when it get that time. Exactly. So when it get that time, it's time for grind mode, because this is what you've been working for. Because you can't go back home and go get help from somebody down the street because they're not doing what you're doing.
Right. I love to hear you speak on that, and knowing that you say it's not enough people doing it next door, but you know why? You know what is going to make this happen is people like me and you, people like TZ. We set that example for our generation, and we let them know, hey, gang violence, you don't need that. Sex addiction, you don't have to indulge in that. Drug abuse, you don't have to do that. Alcoholism, you don't have to pump that much into your system to where you could fall into a coma. You can do stuff and get it out of the mud in the right way, and you know that you're going to prevail in that instant, or you're going to elevate yourself. You're going to what did they say? They like to say you're going to move up in that. Okay, and I think that's the most important thing. And I love to hear you say that. And let me tell you this, Tim. We might not be getting comments on social media, but I'm getting text messages, and the girls are saying that you sound educated as heck, and they loving it, Tim. They loving it. Keep it up, okay?
Okay, Tim.
They saying that you are sounding educated underrated, and I really love to hear black men, and I love to hear a black man talk like you're talking, because we don't have a lot of that. We don't see a lot of black men who have tough skin, who are learning how to deal with their mental issues and things like that. So my next question for you, Tim, is that once you're successful and you started working with big people like her, H-E-R, LMA, my girl, what's my other girl I like? Ari Lennox. You start working with people like that. And say, for instance, you're in the studio, it's just y'all two or whoever you with, and Ari or Summer Walker, they try to come on to you sexually. Alrighty, and we talked about being professional and things like that. I know it's tough. So if Ari comes on to you, Summer Walker, and they're y'all in the studio 1-on-1, and they come on to you sexually, they try to have sex with you, try to give you fellatio. What are you gonna do, Tim? What are you gonna do?
Look at how he looked. You already know what he gonna do.
I will keep it as professional as I can. Nah, at the end of the day, like, it just depends. With me, it gotta be a vibe. If it's a certain type of vibe, like, it's like, all right, like, it's in the earth. It's like, all right, it's a cool vibe. I can fuck with you. It, like, this ain't gonna jeopardize the music or what we got going on. Like, we gonna be on some cool, chill shit. It may be so, but if I can see if it's just like, all right, like, if the vibe ain't there, and it's just like,
but I got something for you.
Nah, I can't jeopardize that money. Money a little better. But like, if it's gonna mess up the business and what I got going on, if I know you're gonna be on some mess type stuff, then no matter how fine you is or who you is, sad to say, if I wouldn't be able to do it, because at the end of the day, like I said, I came here. I'm going there for a mission. I ain't come there to like I didn't get there to just be fucking with like celebrities and shit like that. I know it's at the end of the day, my money come first. So like, if I get in that position, I'm in that position to make a lot of money, not to fuck a lot of bitches.
Okay, Tim.
I know that's right. I like that, Tim, and I bet you gonna get so much cat off that comment. You gonna get so much cat off that comment.
He say some, because he gonna get some.
Yes, Tim. Oh wow, Tim. Yes, I bet the girls are just clapping in their drawers right now. They clapping. All right. But you know what, Tim? I appreciate you and my friend TZ for coming on and joining us. Just to do a recap of everything, just to sum up everything that we talked about today. We talked about mental health, everybody. If you don't know what type of mental health that you're in, recognize the signs. Sometimes a lot of people they suffer from depression. If you are the type of person, if you are always in the house, you don't want to leave. If you sit in dark rooms, if you don't eat, if you can't sleep, those are certain signs to let you know that you are dealing with something that you need help with. Okay, it can be anxiety, it can be anything. Okay, the first thing you need to do is to recognize what the mistake is in yourself, then seek out and get help. Okay, do not be afraid to get help. When you're working in the music industry, you need to have a tough skin. Do not be afraid to hear the word no. Okay, don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to try different things. Okay, my boy Tim said, keep it professional. Okay, even if the headmaster come in that thing, Tiana Trump, and she come in with her mouth open, you better not. You better make that money. You better make that money. Follow my boy on social media, Timmy D Beats _. Follow my girl on social media, TZB _. And make sure you follow your boy Jae Hard on social media, _Jae Hard. Don't you hit your head too hard. Just hit it head on right here on ATL's Next 100 on the IBNX radio station. We will be back next week. Bye-bye. I love y'all.
Peace.
Peace. If you love us, you'll tune in every week. We are on IBNX Radio Network on ATL's Next 100. We got more good topics coming up for Black History Month and more. Y'all, please stay tuned right here on Head On the IBNX Radio Network with your boy Jae Hard. We got more for you right here on ATL's Next 100 on the IBNX Radio Network. See y'all next week.